I did include it in the email, but obviously whatever supports you guys have for today, if it's blocks, bolsters, if it's more like couch pillows or bed pillows. You might need them, you might not. The actual sequence I'm using today is sequenced via traditional Chinese medicine. It's for the stomach and spleen. So that it sort of coincides with this sugar moon that we're entering into, right? Where really the Anishinaabe people of northern Minnesota, they start to at this time begin to really honor the maple sap as it begins to run. And so we start to really think about how can we balance our lives in the same way that we would balance our blood sugar levels. And so taking that to heart, we're going to use this asana practice to stimulate our stomach and our spleen. Okay? So why don't you go ahead? Well, yeah, and Brandy, you can keep your camera off. That's totally fine. But even in this intimate collective here, right? We have Marcia in Duluth, Katie's in Colorado, Brandy's in the Twin Cities, and Carol's by Fargo. So like we're scattered, but we're here. And that's really cool. This is scheduled for 75 minutes so that we can leave time at the end to set our intentions. Okay? So why don't you guys go ahead and make your way to your mat if you're not already there. Get comfortable. As you're getting settled, I'll just kind of keep chatting. So if you've noticed at all over the last several days, this lunar energy has really been waning, moving toward this new moon. Like the dark night sky is really turning into darkness. And as the world around us turns dark, we then move inward as well into our own inner darkness, where we find the depths of our own internal wisdom that often get hidden by the pulls of the external world, right? All of the external world is drawing us outward. And so aligned and in rhythm with this new moon, we're going to use this practice today to move back inward, back to stillness, back to our true nature, so that from the wisdom that we uncover within today, we plant seeds for intention then for this upcoming moon cycle from right here. And this upcoming moon cycle is very inspiring, right? Because throughout the next moon cycle, we also move into spring. We start to trade the darkness of our winter days for the light of spring. And the whole goal of using the moon the way I'm teaching it is so that our intentions start to really bring us abundance. So that as we start to sort of create this abundance in our own life, we can share that abundance outward with others. From our fullness, we can go out and help make the world more just and more equitable for all. Okay? And so that's really what this ritual and ceremony today is all about. And we're going to wait to set our intentions until the end, where we've really tapped into this wisdom within. Okay, so seated cross-legged, we'll begin with our pranayama. My kitty sitting up tall too here. And so the breath work we're going to work with today is called inner triangles pranayama. And so we're really going to take some time at the beginning to get this down, right? And so let's just take several rounds of breath here at the beginning where We're just transitioning, right, into our body, onto our mat, taking this time to really move from the outer world into the inner world. And as you're doing this, if you want to place both your hands on your low belly or your deep belly, and let your breath find the hands. Oftentimes when we really get caught up in living only in the external world, we tend to forget that our anatomical center of gravity is way down in our sacrum. And so when we feel off center, one of the quickest ways to bring ourselves back to center is to breathe to the belly. As we begin to really work this inner triangles pranayama, we're going to visualize an inverted triangle. The base of this triangle is at the level of our navel or our belly button. So this upside down triangle. And so as we inhale, we're going to inhale from the outer corners of this triangle. So like from your navel outward, we're going to inhale from here and let that in-breath expand the outer corners of your triangle. As you exhale and empty that breath, trace the outer edges of your triangle all the way down to the tip of your tailbone. Taking several rounds of breath in this way, your inhale spans from the top edge of the triangle at the level of the navel. The exhales empty as your awareness traces down to the tip of your tail. Let's take 5 more breaths in this way. Inhale, breathe into the outer corners of your triangle. Exhale, trace the out breath down to the tip. As you get more and more comfortable with these sensations, let your in-breath really breathe in from the 2 outer corners. Exhale, trace the edges down to the tip of the tail. Coming back to the earth, down into these deep, deep depths of our physical body. Each passing round of breath really allowing you to feel plugged in, rooted. From here, we'll build on your inhale. Pull in from the outer corners of your triangle. And then inhale, let the inhalation peak in your heart. As you exhale, trace your spine all the way to the tail. Inhale here at the level of your solar plexus. Let the inhale build right into the heart space. And then exhale, the breath empties out the nasal passages, but your awareness moves down to your tail. 5 more breaths in this way. The pinnacle of that upper triangle resides in the heart. Your exhalations take you to your tail. For your final 3 breaths, if you could bring your hands to your lowest ribs, literally feel here your inhalation, let it expand into the hands. And then upward to the heart. Exhale, trace your spine all the way to the tail. Final round, breathe into the back ribs, into the hands. Feel the way that your rib cage can really expand with the breath. Exhale, trace your out breath to the tail, rooting you to the earth below. Go ahead, bring both hands to the heart. And just connecting into this space. And then we'll take both our hands, bring them to the eyes, and let the head melt into the hands. Bowing into this darkness, all that we have seen, all that we perceive, letting that move to darkness, all the connections and patterns that our eyes try to make sense of on the daily. Almost as if our hands here are cleaning the eyes of all we've seen. And begin to move the hands around the forehead, around the temples, all the way to the earlobes where you can grasp and maybe just give a gentle little tug here. All that we have heard, all that we hear and listen to. Really reminding ourselves that listening can include our inner listening as well. And then let's roll over our ankles, coming into a child's pose. You can choose if you want to use a pillow or some sort of a support in your child's pose. If you'd rather come right to the earth, forehead down. For the duration of the practice, we're going to stay with this inner triangles pranayama. And so while you're in your child's pose, still really visualizing your in-breath coming in at the level of your navel, the outer edges of your rib cage, expanding to the back of the heart. And as you empty the breath, trace with your awareness to the tail. As your forehead is in connection with the earth, feel a release of the center of your brow. Feel the skin of your forehead moving upward toward your hairline, really just releasing tension that we hold. All the stories that move through this headspace, surrendering them to the earth here as our physical body embodies the shape of a seed. A little pod of energy, similar to the seeds we'll plant at the end of the practice, letting your physical body take on this shape. What have you learned this past moon cycle? And what will you do differently next time? Your final 3 breaths here. Can you move your out breaths longer than your in breaths? And as you really empty these out breaths, right, and slow them out even more, feel the connection to your pelvic floor, the way it engages to help you really empty yourself. Allowing your next inhale to ease you up. Coming to all fours before coming to our belly, into our Sphinx pose. As you come to your belly, bringing the elbows under the shoulders. can find opposite arms. Make a hand hammock for your forehead or your chin. And then really close your eyes. Inhale, fill the outer corners of your triangle, your outer low ribs. Let the inhale build maybe into your heart space. And then exhale, empty it. Let it trace your spine all the way to the tail. And so in the energetics of our body, this pranayama is really, really great for intention setting. Because as we inhale into the outer corners of our triangles, we're really filling at the level of our solar plexus, the place from where we take action, but we're letting our inhale fill from there and then build up to our heart-guided action. And as we exhale and we empty all that, we bring ourselves back down to the earth. If you'd like to go any deeper, for our final minute here, take your hands to the upper outer corners of the mat and begin to hover the elbows. Really letting it be a workable edge. Staying with our full inner triangle pranayama. On your next exhale, beginning to slowly release all the way to your belly. If you could bend your elbows out wide and stack the hands, make a pillow for the forehead. Or you can reach the hands, palms up, forward, bringing the forehead down. Either way, we're going to really use this position of full prostration to, again, offer. the I, the me, the my, the story maker of our mind, we're going to let it settle down, connecting to the earth, offering your stories, going back to the earth. Gradually making your way toward all fours. We'll take just a moment as we shift our hips back toward our heels. And so if you need a block under your seat as you sit between the ankles, feel free, just coming into this saddle. If you don't need a block and you could sit, right, we want hips right in between the ankles. But if that is too much on the ankles, support yourself in some way. Once you arrive, bring your left hand to your belly and your right hand to your heart. Finding your inner triangle pranayama. Bringing all of this energy down into our body. You can stay here. If you wanted to try releasing the block, seeing if you are able to sink in any more. And then you can bring your hands back behind your hips. Maybe you can go palms down here. And just start to gently lift the heart. And so if any of these steps are too much, we just stay right where we began. Wherever you find yourself, easing to all fours, curling your 10 toes under, root down into the balls of the feet, shift your hips back toward your heels again, coming toward broken toe. Can you curl even those little pinky toes under? If it gets to be too much here, seated, right, you can float. really awakening, right? The feet, all the ways they've carried us through this journey called life. The way that most times in daily life, they are our literal connection to the earth. And then we'll just ease ourselves off. Bringing both legs forward. Coming into shoelace. So I'm going to take my left knee, stack it over my right, pulling the heel closer to my body. You can stay in this half shoelace, or if you feel like you can go deeper, bringing both, feel free. Just really ensuring that both your sit bones are rooted. Once you have your stable foundation, let's inhale both hands to the sky so that we can exhale, twist. Right hand outside of left knee, left hand back behind. Close your eyes. Find your breath. And so really experience your inner triangle pranayama now through the rotation of the twist. Breathe into the ringing out. All the ways in which we digest. What do you need to bring more balance into your life right now? On your next exhale, unravel. If you need to roll your shoulders out at all, feel free, and then we'll fold. So again, at any point, if you need that bottom leg long, let your breath fill your back ribs. Each passing inhale gently nudges into the intercostal muscles, nudging them awake, nudging them free. Final 3 breaths here. As you really lengthen your out breaths, melt into your edges. Gradually easing up. Unraveling those legs. Before switching sides. Stacking right knee on top of left. You can stay in this half shoelace. Or you can move toward the full. Whichever one, inhale both hands to the sky, really doing this to lift our rib cage. Exhale, left hand outside the right knee, right hand back behind. Let your next out breath unwind your spine. And then folding forward. Keeping the weight back in your sit bones rather than collapsing into the knees. Final 3 breaths here. Slowly lengthen those exhalations, allowing you to melt into your edge. gradually easing out. Unraveling those legs. Keeping both legs long, we'll move toward our caterpillar. And so if you like some support under your knees for stubborn hamstrings, feel free. You wanted to use a bolster to fold forward, that is an option. You can also move toward a dangling if you'd rather, or we just come to our feet, allowing the body to hang. Either one is just fine. Final 3 breaths. Lengthen your exhales out as you melt in. Gradually taking your time as you ease yourself out. Taking a little time to counter move, right, in a way that works for you. Before moving into our dragon cycle. So again, take your time. I'm going to just start setting up so I can show you various options. Eventually here, bringing our right leg forward. So I've been into really using my bolster to support my back, knee, and shin lately. You can use any sort of support on that back leg. If you have blocks, using them under the arms here. Really coming to a workable edge. We will be here for 3 minutes in total. So you will have plenty of time to deepen into the posture. Once you get yourself settled, can you close your eyes? And keep using the busyness of your mind and the pattern connecting of your mind and the mapping of your mind, and use it to visualize these two triangles. The base of the triangles merge in your solar plexus, your center of transformation, where your ego really resides. That's not a bad thing. We're really trying to become partners with the ego here. And then as the inhale builds from your solar plexus, it rises right into the pinnacle of the heart. And as you exhale and you empty that, you trace all the way down to the tip of your bottom triangle, which is at your tailbone. And so these two inner triangles overlaid on top of each other sort of make like a diamond, an internal diamond. If you feel like you could lower to your forearms. Staying in either of the first two options, or if you want to bend your back knee, reach your right arm back for that left foot. If you're in this deepest twisting variation with me, can we stay with our inner triangle pranayama and move toward longer exhales than inhales? Is your body starting to build a heat or a tapas here? Gradually releasing out. Stretching back toward a child's pose. If you needed a down dog or anything like that, feel free. If it feels good to kind of reach and move that right leg around. Before stepping the left leg through. Getting yourself set up, beginning with just hands long, arms long. Closing the eyes and really focusing on that inner visualization again. If you want to lower to your forearms, staying at either of the first two variations or moving toward the twist, bending that right knee. The left hand reaches back. Gradually easing out. Taking any counter movements you need before we make our way onto our back. As we make our way down, we're just going to come into a nice, easy twist, hugging the right knee into the chest, bringing it across the body to the left. If you wanted to support your right knee in any way, use a block or a bolster. Reaching that right arm out, shoulder height. Gradually unwinding. If you need a kneaded chest before switching sides, feel free. Hugging the left knee to the chest and then bringing it across the body toward the right. Supporting it in any way that you might need. Vision turns and looks toward that left hand. Gradually taking your time to release out. Any final movements you need before Shavasana? allowing your body to simply breathe for itself. As you become an observer, watching the innate rhythm of your body, at the same time observing the habitual patterns of your mind. Bringing your internal gaze to your third eye, the space at the center of your brow. Remembering that which is beyond all of our life circumstances, beyond our happy and sad, our ups and downs, our job or no job, our relationship or no relationship. We remember that which is steady, that which is always available. This practice returns us there. Reawakening your body by a deepening of your breath. Using an inhale to take a long-bodied stretch, stretching from fingers to toes. For your rolling to your side body. Left or right, whatever your preference, right? Left if you feel like you need more of this lunar yin energy. Right if you need a little solar to move off into your day. From this really grounded, connected, internal space, this is where we're going to set our intentions from. So easing yourself up to your seat, grabbing your pen and your paper if you have it. We're just going to set our intention for the cycle forward. And as you're writing, maybe focus on what it feels like, right? If your intention is attached to a goal or a larger goal, right? What is it going to feel like when you reach that goal? And some intentions might have a goal attached to them, some might not. We're simply using this intention setting to set our sails or hone our sense of direction. And go ahead and put words around your intention now. Thank you guys for being here so much. Such a beautiful community. Namaste.